I must tell you. This tale tells a tantalizing tidbit about a time before time, yea, before history. A time of wild living and wild loving. It was the time of George Pepperdine, where men and beasts lived in peace and there was money to be made on the streets. So sons and daughters, listen, and I will tickle your young ears with George Pepperdine's Rise to the Top, where he learned his motto, freely ye received, freely give. It begins as such. George was a young and industrious kid boy, and his dreams carried him far further than the mundane family business of wild doggy training. He was often referred to as a cave boy who was as full of fleas as a dog was of ideas. But he was an expert doggy trainer. And George saved some of the extra doggy bones to sale at the cave market for proverbial bones. Once he saved up some ancient legal tender, he used it to capitalize on a favorable opportunity that caught his eye. At the birth of the wheel, George saw great potential for societal elevation. He took his few proverbial bones and invested them in bone axles, which allowed more than one wheel to be connected, opening the door for ox carts, chariots, and the prehistoric diesel engine. And then one day, George saw the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. He moved closer to her, thinking of concussing her and sequestering her in his lair, as was the fashion of the day. But George was a noble caveman, and he decided to take a step of faith and treat her with respect. A classic Pepperdine principle. So he built her a fire. She was incredibly impressed with his chivalry and ability to be a strong provider for her and their future family. And so, they were married. But then, the Ice Age hit. Times were terrible. It was chillier than a chicken. And all of George's dinosaur friends, well, they had to go on vacation. And so George lost a lot of his workers and customers as well. With diminished capital and some hurt feelings, George buckled down and just had to be strong. Regardless, after the Ice Age, George continued to have great success. But his business did not fulfill his entire vocational calling. George told his wife that he was tired of life in the fast lane. He said, "Helen, it's time for me to cash in the chips and devote my life to humanitarian pursuits." So George gave his money to start a school to turn Neanderthals into good, faithful, Christian Homo sapiens. And so Pepperdine University was started. After this momentous achievement, George received a special tablet signed by President Tyrannosaurus at Kennedy that said, "I extend my own congratulations to a man who had the vision to make a fortune and the courage to give it for the benefit of humanity." George was a caveman after God's own heart. Faith was truly his fortune, a fortune which we share because it was given freely. Good night, children, and sweet dreams.